Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Sammy. We have some major news coming out of New Zealand, Grinding Gear Games. ExileCon is happening on November 7th and 8th in 2026. And what does this mean outside of that it's a spectacular event? Well, I think it's pretty well locked in that we are going to see the full release of 1.0 happening for Path of Exile 2 in December. That's my speculation. It's going to be the 2-year anniversary since the early access release of POE 2. And in this video, we're going to go over kind of what is going to be transpiring from now till then and why I believe that it's pretty well sewn up. I think this is a big indicator that Path of Exile 2 is going to go full release on the 2nd anniversary in December of 2026. Let's get to it. Okay, so here's the tweet from Grinding Gear Games. On November 7th and 8th, 2026, we'll be hosting our 3rd ExileCon in Auckland, New Zealand. Play new content, watch major announcements, meet our team and your favorite content creators, and more. Tickets go on sale February 10th. So if you're interested in attending ExileCon, the tickets go on sale February 10th. So this is exciting news for everyone. As we all know, ExileCon is a major event in the Path of Exile community, not only for the studio Grinding Gear Games, but also for the player base that get to play and enjoy their games. And it's also a place where major announcements happen. And this is why many feel, including myself, that this is going to be a big one, because I believe they're going to announce that they will be going full release in Path of Exile 2 in December of 2026. I think they're going to do it on the 2nd year anniversary, give or take a couple of days. However, but the bottom line is it's going to happen in December. And I've been saying this for basically since day one. The only kind of thing I got off track was how things were going. We kind of were speculating whether or not there was even a chance that it was going to go past 2026. But this is what we know. We know Jonathan does not want to see it go past 2026. So I think they're going to do everything in their power to make it happen. And the fact that they've announced ExileCon for November of 2026, I just think it lines up. Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. And so this is something that we've been tracking since the release of early access. And we've been kind of going through not only the POE 1 leagues, which are in the shaded areas, but underneath, these are the POE 2 leagues. And as you can see, we're going to get 0.5 in April. And that is going to be, hopefully, the endgame rework. And then that lines us up for August for 0.6, and it lines up for a December, which maybe I'm wrong, and it'll be 0.7 and it won't be 1.0 in the full release. But I have been saying all along that I think they're going to go full 1.0 in December. So as you can see, if they do ExileCon in November, it's perfect timing. This is normally when they would even do like a live reveal. If they weren't doing ExileCon, they would do it a month, 3 weeks before. And so this lines up perfectly, and I couldn't think of a better platform or event to announce something like this. So the writing is on the wall here. I think this is we could all make a very good case that Path of Exile 2 is going to go full release in December of 2026 on the 2-year anniversary. Not bad. Some people were speculating it was going to take 4 or 5 years the way things were going. Now, we can debate how the last couple of leagues in POE 2 have gone. But Jonathan also wanted to see 2 successful leagues be successful with Path of Exile 2. Now, 0.3, we know what happened there. 0.4, again, some people think it was good. Some people think it was bad. I personally think they have 0.5 and 0.6 to really tie up all the loose ends and get the game ready for 1.0. So what are the loose ends? We know the endgame rehaul is happening in 0.5. So that's going to get addressed one way or the other. Now, is it going to be completely successful? Only time will tell. We'll see what happens. But they are going to basically have a good 7 to 8 months and 2 major updates, 0.5, 0.6, and obviously 0.7 or 1.0, depending on who's right and who's wrong on full release dates here. But they basically have a good chunk of this year to get the end game right, which is the first look we're going to have is going to be in April. So we'll see how that pans out. So put that aside. And I'm not going to talk about class balance. I'm not talking about crafting. I'm not talking about quality of life. These are all ongoing things as far as I'm concerned for a developer. Those items that I just mentioned, those are things that studios are always fine-tuning and tweaking with. So that is set aside. But things that must happen, in my opinion, in order for them to be able to go to full release in December, the mini acts, the interludes are currently in the game. So Acts 5 and Acts 6 need to be introduced, and the interludes and the mini acts need to be removed. So Acts 5 and Acts 6 need to come into the game prior to 1.0. And I don't see a problem that transpiring over the next 7 to 8 months. Who knows? Maybe we'll get something with the endgame overhaul. But I really do believe that in April, that is going to be like 90% focused on endgame. They said they wanted to do something big. So I would imagine they're going to really try to hit a home run with the end game in April. So who knows? Maybe we might get an Act 5 in there. I don't think so. It'll probably be the next one, but who knows, right? But Acts 5 and 6 need to come into the game. I don't see that being a big problem. The third, Trials, needs to come. Right now, we only have 2, Trials of Chaos and Trials of Secamus, and the third one needs to be introduced. I don't think they can go full release without it. And I would even take it a step further. The 2 trials that are in the game right now are not very well received. There's a lot of criticism about both, and we're not going to get into that. But I also believe that they need to rethink and redo this Trials of Chaos and Trials of Secamus. I call it Trials of Suck My Ass, excuse the language. But both they just have cringe. When I go and do the trials, it's just cringe doing it. Nobody likes it. I just think it needs a rework, along with introducing the third Trials of Ascendancy. So that's got to come into the game, in my humble opinion. Now, there are currently 8 classes in Path of Exile 2. We have the Ranger, we have the Witch, we have the Huntress, the Monk, the Sorceress, the Warrior, the Mercenary, and the Druid. The Druid being the last addition in Path of Exile 2. And we are still missing 4. The Shadow, Marauder, Duelist, and Templar. And in the old days, back when Path of Exile 2 came out, we would have thought all 12 classes would need to be in the game prior to it going full release. But during the early access period, Jonathan did state that it'd be nice to get them all in for full release, but if we don't get them all in, then so be it. We will still proceed with full release of Path of Exile 2. So it's up for grabs whether or not we are going to get the remaining 4 classes this year prior to the full release 1.0 in December, which I'm speculating. So whether they can squeeze in all 4 of these classes from now till December of 2026, when I'm speculating they're going to go full release, I think that's a tall order, considering that they need to, number one, in April, we're getting the endgame rework. And then there's always fine-tuning and tweaking. How did it hit? Did it not hit? Was it too much? Was it not enough? So they're going to have to deal with that, along with all the other. There's going to be a new league mechanic. you know what I mean? Who knows? Acts 5 and 6, these are all things from now till December that they got to deal with. They got to bring in the 2 acts. They got to bring in the 3rd ascendancy. I would imagine or suspect that of the 4 remaining classes that are outstanding, I would hope 1 or 2 are going to be introduced. Hopefully they can squeeze in all 4. I think they did a lot of the grunt work, a lot of the heavy lifting with the Druid. It was the most difficult class for them to make. And I suspect all that hard work, pain, and sweat, I think is going to make the remaining classes simpler, easier, if there's such a word, for that kind of work. Because it's not easy balancing these types of builds in this type of game. But the bottom line is, we don't know for certain. When we can't say for certain, because they may choose to prioritize other things and leave the 4 classes till after full release. All we're certain of is that they're willing to go full release without having all the classes in the game. But we know for our remaining, whether or not some or all get introduced prior to December, we'll see. So to me, this is a huge announcement, and I think the stars are aligning. I just think, again, it's my opinion, and I think many would agree. I just think where there's smoke, there's fire. The fact that they've chosen to do ExileCon, which is a great news. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be it's going to be a hell of an event. Sorry. And I just think the fact that it's right before the 2-year anniversary, I think it just lines up too good for them to use ExileCon as their huge platform to make the announcement that Path of Exile 2 is going full release, and they can start December with the full release of the game and opening it up to everyone that currently didn't pay for an access key to play the early access. So that's my take. It's not a far stretch. Many agree and feel the same way. I think this is great news. Awesome that we finally have something to sink our teeth in. So let me know what you think. Do you still think, no, not happening? They're nowhere near having this game being able to go full release. They have so much more work. Did I miss something in addressing or that needs to be in the game in order for them to go full release? Get in the section and let me say, and tell me that I'm on crack and that I missed something so important. And what are you doing? You didn't even mention it. But I really think that Acts 5 and 6, the endgame rehaul, which is happening anyway, the 3rd trial, and some of the classes being introduced or not, that's really up to grinding your games. To me, those are the must things that have to happen before grinding your games is willing to go full release. And I think they are going to be able to put those all in before December, which is what I'm speculating is going to be the full release of Path of Exile 2, December 2026. Mark it in your calendars. Start booking the PTO. You should probably take the whole month of December off. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And if you can like, comment, and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. And it's the best way to support this channel. And I would really love your support. And as always, we'll see you in Ray class. Hope to see you next time. Take care. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.